Oh buddy, Andy here again. Well, here I am sitting at the computer. The only problem is I haven't got an internet connection. Now this is one of those things, you know, these happen, outages happen, you know, shit happens, as they say. But this has now been going on for more or less 24 hours. Went down yesterday, came back very briefly yesterday evening for about half an hour or so, and then went off again. And there was a blip where it worked, albeit very, very slowly this morning, and it's gone off again. Yeah, as I said, these things happen. Totally understand it. But what it does is it just brings it home to you, is how quickly you can be thrown back into the relative dark ages, and you suddenly realise just how much you rely on modern technology, full stop. And it's not just about the internet, and I'll come to other things. Just talking to my son about how you don't realise how much your life revolves around the internet. Obviously that happens to some people more than to others. There are people who still don't have the internet. Yes, there are people out there like that, and that's another issue. But people like myself, I know that I use it a fair amount, but it brings it home to you just how much your everyday life is taken up by it. Even if you're at work, you probably use the internet in one form or another. With a mobile cell phone or something, you're probably on there on Twitter or something, or using a network, even if it is like a 3G network or something, but you're trying to get into the Wi-Fi zones where you get it for free, that type of thing. That goes away and you're lost. You know, you don't lose your mobile phone doesn't work, the signal goes. You know, you're just standing around wondering what you're going to do. You start twiddling your thumbs. And it's the same with this. There's always things that you can do. There's never a good time for the technology to break down, is there? You know, we all think about that. Why, you know, why does it always happen now? We'd say that whatever time of day, unless it happened in the middle of the night when you're asleep, when you didn't know about it. That's probably the only time. There's always something that you want to do, whether it be, you know, surfing the internet, you know, doing your banking, trying to sort out the website you just put up there in the last couple of weeks and put things up there, and people you want to answer on email. Yes, I know you can do it on your phone, potentially through a 3G network or something, but then it starts costing me money, or if I go over my allowance and that type of thing. The internet is free once I've paid for it initially, if you see what I mean. But this just sort of brings home once again a real reliance on technology, because another thing that's happening today, and something that I thought about this yesterday, about this whole idea, is how in some ways we have all this great technology. We've got, you know, I have now like high-speed broadband internet, or relatively speaking. I've just upgraded mine to a new package by the particular provider, ISP, that I use. And it's a lot better. I'm now getting speeds, you know, this is relative. This is the top of the house, as far away from the modem as you can possibly get, and I'm getting upload speeds getting around the 30 megabytes per second. I think that's the way it works, isn't it? And my that's the downloads, and the uploads now are sort of 15 megabytes a second. Now that is a phenomenal increase on what I had before. You know, this particular video, it could be because I do them all in high definition now because I've got a better internet connection. It might have taken an hour and a half, 2 hours to upload. When I eventually get the connection back and can upload this, it'll only take a maximum of about 10 minutes. That's the difference. And you realise just how good the technology is, you know, and all these trains and that, and aeroplanes that are run by computers nowadays. And that's all very well until that computer breaks, until the internet connection goes, and then we are, as I said before, thrown back into the relative dark ages. Television, we have digital technology now with TVs and radios. In fact, the analog signal is being turned off. The TV analog signal is being turned off in the last place in the United Kingdom today, as it happens. One of those weird quirks of fate that I heard about on the radio. In Northern Ireland, the analog signal is turned off. So all we have now is digital television. A lot of us, not all of us, but a lot of us get that via a satellite dish. You know, we use the satellites that are up there, and then that's a very big technology. As soon as it rains hard, we lose the signal because it won't detect it anymore, and we all know what the weather's been like recently and the way that it's getting. It rains hard, and you know, suddenly you think, oh, the picture goes, and you think, oh, I look out the window, sure enough, it's pouring hard with rain. Why does that happen? The same thing happens with the radio occasionally when the weather's bad as well. It goes down. Now in the past, we used to turn over, oh, well, we'll go and put the analog signal on. We haven't got that now. A bit like the internet, there is no alternative. As I mentioned before, with public transport, having used to work on trains as well, I used to work on analog trains, as they used to as you could potentially call them, I suppose. And with those, if there was any issues, you know, leaves on the line, the famous one, you know, it's not a joke, by the way, it's serious stuff, and ice on the conductor rails and things like that, another one of those jokey things. It's serious. But with the older trains, the analog trains, you used to be able to coax them. Not always, yes, there comes a point where everything breaks down and comes to a halt, but you used to be able to coax those to an extent, you know, a bit of skill, a bit of experience, a bit of guile or whatever. But nowadays with the computer will take so much, and then it will say, no, that's it, I'm stopping, I'm not going any further, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. You're thrown back into the dark age, and it does make you wonder now where we're going, because you know, everything increasingly is going online. It's like with the internet going down, my phone line isn't working properly, and everything you go onto, everything that you look at, and it tells you to go to the website, or it tells you to ring this person. Well, I can't. I have no way of getting hold of it unless I use my mobile phone, and it costs me more money. There's no fallback position. That's the problem. Yes, I know we need to go forward. We need to go forward and make sure that the technology does have some sort of backup. With going blindly forward, leaving lots of people behind who don't want to be on the internet at all because they're either too old, they're just not interested, and that's fair enough. There are always going to be refuseniks and Luddites or whatever. There's nothing wrong with that. Or there's people who are being left behind because they're on the digital divide, as they call it. They might live in the countryside, etc., where the broadband or the internet connection is either dreadful or non-existent. And it's the same with like 3G technology. We're now going to 4G technology. Well, I know for a fact, and I'm sure many people would agree, in the UK at least, the 3G connection is not that great. So what on earth is they're improving something before they got the basics right? That's one of those problems. Technology is always great, and new technology is wonderful until it breaks. Hopefully you'll see this video in the relatively near future. Or maybe you'll never see it at all. But no, well, let's not go down that road. Anyway, hopefully I should be able to post this very, very shortly. But if not, you'll see it at some time in the future, I expect, providing the technology doesn't fall apart completely. And who knows, that could be done as well. Anyway, I'll leave it there. Thanks for your time. I'll speak to you again soon. Goodbye.